Good evening, everyone. Again, welcome to my home office in beautiful Western Pennsylvania. First of all, I would like to apologize for this late submission and for my voice during this recording. I'm just starting to recover from my bout with COVID 19. I chose the topic for my research assignment to be the Salem witch trial. I've always been fascinated with the trials and how a small village in New England could be turned completely upside down during the majority of the year 1692. I have read many books and many journal articles that were produced by some of the world's preeminent scholars on the subject. I've also read and tried to digest and interpret the multitude of primary documents that are now available online. In previous attempts to explain these events, I have focused on trying to lay the blame on an individual or specific reason for how things got so totally and thoroughly out of control in Salem Village. This class had me going back through my research and adding a great deal to it. Instead of just trying to lay blame, I looked at how the Reverend Samuel Parris manipulated the Puritan religious beliefs to his personal advantage. He did so even at the cost of the lives of not only non church member village residents, but also members of his own congregation. I was very amused with myself as I wrote this paper. My preconceived notions made it seem like a simple slam dunk and then move on to my next class. It did not, however, turn out to be the case. I think I changed my thesis statement at least 6 times. And as the research progressed, and rather than stick to my preconceived results, I let the research take me where it would. I quickly realized that my original thesis was way too broad of an area to be covered on such a short paper, and that it needed to be refined. This happened again and again until I settled on the final version that I turned in today. Probably the hardest thing I had to contend with as I researched and wrote this paper, not to think as an individual from the 21st century, place myself in 1692. As I reflected on how much the world has changed in just my lifetime, it's extremely hard to place myself in the shoes of a villager in 1692, 300 years ago. A brief synopsis of my paper. I went into a very quick history of witchcraft as a whole, followed by another brief history of witchcraft in New England prior to the events in Salem. Again, I try to just briefly touch on the issues present in Salem Village, um, causing it to be a divided environment when Samuel Parris took the position as the reverend of the village church. Puritan beliefs on church membership and the sacrament would be the cornerstone that the future actions of Parris would be set upon. The paper progressed. His position began to slip, and it looked like he was soon to be unemployed. Parris would use these Puritan beliefs on witchcraft as the basis for regaining his authority. Secular books were not permitted in Puritan society. Some of the most entertaining reading available were various pamphlets on the witch cases prior to Salem. It was unique that the afflicted girls followed these pamphlets and the writings of Increase and Cotton Mather, both prominent theologians in Boston prior to and during the time of the events, performed their afflictions during the trials. Like a good Monday morning quarterback, it is easy to see how Parrish was able to manipulate these events for his personal gain. However, just like the game time players, things are not quite as clear to the residents of Salem Village in 1692. Parrish, um, the paper would demonstrate how Parrish would use his position in the pulpit to stress the idea of witchcraft and the idea that the church needed to be saved, the individuals needed to be saved and come into full membership of his church. It was his futile attempt to regain the power that he thought he lost. The village leadership passed into hands that were not members of the church. This is our last entry this semester. I would like to thank everyone in the class for helping making this an extremely interesting endeavor. The class turned out to be a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I would like to wish everyone out there nothing but the best and God bless.